Okay, so something came up. I was looking at my comments as far as the video that goes, I don't agree with you, that one. Um, Douglas, I'm bringing you up because you brought some things up, and I'm just going to say your name. I'm thanking you because I don't really have a lot to talk about. So you kind of brushed on something that I don't mind talking about, and that is the racism in the porn industry. Like I wouldn't have expected it, but there is racism in the porn industry, and I don't mean you as the client. You have your preference of the type of people that you want to watch. I mean the companies. They actually, have a racist scale on how they pay people. If people actually care about people, all people, maybe there's something that can be done about it. For you, Douglas, to bring it up, I don't know if that means that's something you knew from the past, because this is what I knew from when I was working, but I don't know if things have changed. If things haven't changed, that's unfortunate, and I wish that there was something we could do about it, but people aren't really taking us seriously, and I say us, and I mean everybody in adult entertainment, including dancers, everybody in adult entertainment, and escorts, everybody, because I feel like that something should be done about that. So this is how I learned about that. I know that there were jobs that people would request that I would do, and I'd be like, cool, these are big companies. I'd be like, cool, yeah, I'm sure I'll do that. They ask you if you have a preference about people you want to work with. I would just be like, because some people don't want to work with black men, some people don't want to work with, I really don't mind the race. I just don't want to be disrespected. When I said that I don't want anybody spanking me, I don't want anybody calling me a beezy, I don't want any of those things. It would actually limit the black men that they put me with, I feel. It shouldn't have actually. It should have been like, we put you with this person, don't do those things to this person. It should have been like that. But I just, it limited the men that I worked with. But I just don't want to be treated like that. I just don't. I do not. So some of these big companies, they wanted me to work with them, and I'd be like, okay, and then I would ask, well, how much am I going to be paid? This is because while I was new to the industry, like the professional part of it, because I did do the amateur and some professional, now that I'm fully immersed in it, how much am I going to be paid? Because I'm also coming from a dancer's point of view, and then they're coming back at me with something I can make as a dancer. They're coming back at me with something really low. They're coming back at me like with 3 something. I'm like, wait a minute, I make that as a dancer. I don't even have to strip. Like, I can just show up, and this is going to be what I take before I even start making tips. I'm taking this at the door, and you're trying to get, I'm going to be penetrated, and you're going to disperse these videos. You're going to make money off of this video, and then when you find another niche to put that video, you're going to retitle it in someplace else. That, I mean, in like, if you do like black chicks with white D's, okay, so I'm with a white man, so you can put it there, but then you can put black chicks with large natural big ones, T's or whatever. Like, you can just keep reselling it into whatever niche. And all I'm going to make is, something I could have just walked up to a door and just been like, okay, I'm here. That didn't compute with me, so I would turn down jobs. And I kept asking, why do these big companies want to pay so low? I asked my agent, and he didn't really have an answer for me. Then I would ask the people that, the companies, they really wouldn't tell me. But one time I went on this shoot, and I was told how much I was going to make. Actually, it was a fair amount. It was good, and that was great. But I saw this girl there. She was doing the same thing I was doing, because you get paid per scene, you get paid what you're doing in the scene. And she was doing the same thing I was doing. We were just having the greatest time. It's like that. It was like we were sisters, kind of, except she was Caucasian, I'm Nubian. It's kind of like we're Oreo twins. I'm shocked we didn't make best friends like after that, because I mean that was really, it was kind of adorable. Like we were running around like sisters. But then it was time to shoot. I found out we're both doing the same exact thing. Our rooms are pretty much the same exact. I can see them to this day. Like her room and my room are the same exact setup, except we have different colors. Our scenes are pretty much the same scenes, except she's a total different person than I am. And I was all set to do my scene and everything, and then I don't know how it came up. We were talking about it. She was like, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I'm going to do this. She was like, oh, me too. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do. And then I guess because of the other companies, how they tried to pay me, I asked her how much she was getting paid. And she told me. And that's when I was like, what the F? We're both doing the same thing. We're both cute. We're both like, what the F? What's going on? So I asked this guy walked up to me and he said, so now, this is what I want you to do, Africa. I want you to be like, yo, this is Africa, straight out of LA, and I'm coming at you like da-da-da-da. And I was like, so irritated. That was my first gray hair, I think. That was my first gray hair, and I was 20-something, but that was my first gray hair. I was so like, are you kidding me? So I looked at this man and I said to him, hey, you can see that I'm black already. Like, why do I have to get stereotypical with it? I don't understand why I have to be stereotypical. That's not the way that I speak. And anybody who's seen me or who knows me knows that unless I'm playing, unless I'm like, yo, girl, what's up? If I'm playing, that's the way that I speak. But other than that, that's not the way that I speak. Why do I have to get like that? And he was just like, just do, So I let you know I didn't do that. I was just like, hi, I'm Africa. So, or it could have been like, hi, I'm Africa. I really don't know. I was trying to be in sexy mode. But it wasn't, yo, this is Africa, straight out of anywhere. And then I asked him, why is, we're both doing the same scene. Why is she being paid more than I'm being paid? And significantly more than I was being paid. And he said, so Africa, it's like this. There's this much in the black budget, and there's this much in the white budget, and there's this much in the Mexican budget, and there's this much in the Asian budget. This is how he's talking to me. This is how he's talking to me. And I was just, it was surreal. It was terrible. It was terrible. But that's how I knew that that's the first time I learned about that. So yeah, if that's still happening, that's terrible. So more so than ever, when it came to jobs, I used to look at it as from a standpoint of a dancer. I'm like, if I can just make that little bit of money just showing up to the door, or if I can make that money one night dancing, you're not trying to pay me to be penetrated. Like, I'm not even taking off my clothes, all of them sometimes, and I'm still making that kind of money, and then you're asking me to be naked and have penises and big toys all up in there, and this is all I'm making. So it didn't make sense to me at all, and I would just say, no, I'm not going to do it. My agent, who makes a commission off of anything I did, and he was a white man, I was like, at some point I said to him, I said, I'm sorry. And I said, because, I know that you, and he was like, no, I'm glad you don't take the small jobs. And I was like, really? Because he was kind of mean. Not to me, but he was mean with other people, and it turns out he went on to, because he was a group, I mean, there was two men, but he was driving me around and stuff like that. It turned out that he kind of went on and was doing videos where women were being humiliated. So, I mean, this was his personality, and he liked that, but he really respected that I didn't take those jobs because it didn't really make sense. He said, no, I like it. And so what happened as a result was it got around that I don't actually take low rates. I just don't. And so I never had to haggle my rate. After that, I just didn't, like, if someone called me for a job, they would tell me what the rate was. I'd agree or disagree, but after that, it was like pretty much agree, because these companies were like, Africa, she won't take a tiny rate. So I don't think that my rates were as much as like maybe Caucasian girls in the industry, but it was higher than, unfortunately, girls, Nubian girls that had been in the business for a while. They did make more money than me because they worked more. Like, I would work for a small amount of time, and then I would, go home and take care of my daughter and pretty much live off of that till I had to come back to work, because I really enjoyed spending time with her and raising her. I even homeschooled her and everything. I really enjoyed everything about being a mom. But and this allowed me to be able to balance it. I got to be a mom, and I got to support her and everything like that. But so they made more because they worked more. Also, they lived out there where the action was, and I did not live out there. I lived out here. So I would have to drive up, and it's just easier to get somebody who's already there. Just way easier. But when I did work, and in the beginning I had to question my rate, or say my rate, and then it got to a point where I didn't have to say my rate. Like, it seemed like it just got around. Africa's just not going to do it if she's not being paid. If you're trying to pay her that, she's not going to do it. So, but yes, you're right. There's a lot of racism in that industry, and just shocking. You wouldn't think that at all. You would think, oh, it's about sex. Sex. You wouldn't think about that. But yeah, that's a thing. If you have any questions about this video, just leave them. I know it takes a while for me to get to the comments, but I do get to the comments. And the questions, just if there's a video you'd like me to talk about. And I guess mainly everything is going to be talking for right now because of the privacy issue and the time issue. And unfortunately, we're also dealing with my anxiety. I do want to hide a lot. Like, I do want to hide, and I'm trying to get myself out of that. Like, I'll just become even if I do have some time, just be like, just feeling dread, and I try and talk myself out of that. So even though it's few and far in between so far, I'm doing good considering it's me. I'm trying. So thank you for watching. Any ideas, just post them. And if they're naughty, I can't do them yet. Or at all right now. Like, I don't really know. I don't know. But thank you. Thank you for watching. Yay!